Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. MahmoodHasanGangohi amma ba'd. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Kullu nafsin za'iqatul maut wa innama tuwaffawna ujurakum yawmal qiyamah faman zuhziha 'anil nar wa udkhila al-jannata faqad faz wa mal hayatu illa mata'ul ghurur. Wa qala ta'ala ma tadri nafsun madha taksibu ghadan wa ma tadri nafsun bi ayyi ardin tamut. وقال تعالى فإذا جاء أجلهم لا يستأخرون وساعة ولا يستقدمون. Imam Nami Rahmatullahi brought about this topic where the importance of remembering death and to reduce your desires and wishes. You can understand first that why a person commits guna, why a person disobeys Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The biggest cause for committing guna and disobedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is because the person is unaware of death, is unaware of the year after. When the concern of the year after comes out of his equation, then that's where the person commits guna, commits sin. That's why Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave us a very great gift. It's called tasawwur akhirat. The minute the person thinks of the akhirat, the person thinks of his death, how will he leave this world, what happened in the year after, then immediately the person will come to his senses and try to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and stay away from guna. So once a person comes to know and understand the reality of death, then that's the time when the person will start staying away from guna. And he'll come to realize the reality of our life also, reality of our purpose, of our creation also. He'll come to realize how great Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, how kind Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, how Allah ta'ala has set certain laws for us to carry out in the world, what is halal, what is haram, what is good, what is bad, what is jaiz, what is not jaiz. He come to understand all these things, and with the result he start practicing upon it, because he knows that I got to die one day and I could give account to accountable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why we find Nabi Kareem sallallahu saying, Absu dhikr أكثر ذكر هذا الذات عن الموت. When you come say that, you go, think of death very often, because this is the thing that will reduce your desires and your wishes. Once you understand death is going to come, for example, if death is going to come, whatever work you're doing, whatever you're engaged in, all that will come to an end. But the work will still carry on, the world will still carry on still. So whatever your responsibilities were, somebody else will take over your responsibility and carry on. We think in this manner that whether I live, I don't live, the world will carry on, responsibilities, people will carry on those responsibilities. So what's the benefit if I spend my full time acquiring the world and not think of the year after? Doesn't make any sense. So what the result, if a person just think like that, then the person will have the tawfiq of fulfilling his ma'amula daily. The person will have time to read his namaz also, he will have time for reading his Quran also, he will have time for making dua, tawbah, istighfar, everything, he has time for everything. Because now he knows his responsibilities, he knows that whether I'm engaged in the world or not engaged in the world, still somebody will still take over the responsibilities. So preference must be given to our responsibilities first, in other words. Especially our farais is very, very important. Without that, we won't get success in the year after. So we're going to take out our time for the farais firstly, then second, after that we'll find wajibat, we'll take out time for that also, and for sunnat and nawafil also, we'll take out time for those things there. That these are our object and purpose of life, which is going to help us in the year after. Once a person thinks of death, then the person realizes now, my object is to prepare for death now. Then the person will take out time now to do everything now. But till you don't understand your object and purpose, you won't take out time, you won't give importance to your ma'amulat. See, that's why it's important to form our ma'amulat and daily follow our ma'amulat in such a way that your connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increases daily. Your love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increases daily. That is when you're going to praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala daily. And you know, that death is such a thing, it's a reality. We find different types of people in the world, we find different types of ideology, we find different types of thinking we find in the world, we find. So much so we find people who don't believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also, we find. Some people who don't believe in the Prophet of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we find also. And we find people who don't believe in the Qiyamah or Jannah and Jahannam, they don't believe in that also fine. But to find that everybody, whichever group they belong to, they're unanimous and they believe that death is a reality. And they understand that death is a reality and even know that nobody knows the time of death also. That also they understand and accept that. We don't know death will come now, after a little while, after a few days, after a few months. Nobody knows what that, but all know that death is a reality and death is going to come. So a thing for which everybody is unanimous on, then why don't the person prepare for that now? When all understand that death is a reality, then why don't we prepare for that? So intelligent person will prepare for death when we know death is a reality. But because we don't understand the reality of death, we are in unawareness always, and we don't fulfill our responsibilities. What Shaitan does now? Shaitan puts a thought in the mind. You are still youngster. You got time still. You got health also. You got wealth also. Enjoy yourself, whatever it is. When you get old, then make too much istighfar. It will come right. Don't worry. So this is the confusion the nafs and Shaitan put into a person. You still got a lot of time still. Then make tawbah afterwards. Do whatever you can do. Enjoy your life now, whatever it is. So this is a deception of the Shaitan which we could try and save ourselves from. And you know very well, when a person wants to travel somewhere, then he prepares from before for his journey, whatever it is. And for example, a person wants to go from here to Durban, for example. What will do? He might take go by car. He might take a flight. He might take a train or bus, whatever it is, and inform the people on the other side. Look, I'm coming on a certain time. Then people will prepare to welcome him also at the same time, and he'll make arrangements where to stay from before. He'll book in a hotel or guest house, wherever it is. He'll arrange for his food also from before time. Everything. When he goes there, he must have any difficulties, any problem, whatever it is. So this suffers a little suffer for 2 days or 3 days or a week, whatever it is. We prepare from beforehand so much so they don't have any difficulties when you go there. And as a person go for a holiday also, from before he prepare everything. He has his hotel booking proper, food arrangements proper also, and everything such a way that when you go there, you must not have any difficulties, any problems at all there. At the same time now, the journey which we are going to go, there is no return from there. What are we doing for that? So there we are unaware of that. We are negligent of that. The journey we are also going to undertake, we are not going to come back from there. What are we preparing for the journey there? Remember, when you're going somewhere, you're traveling somewhere. After a little while, you come to understand, realize now there's 4 hours left to complete our journey. After a little, say there's 3 hours left to complete our journey. As you see the different towns coming, you say, oh, now there's only 1 hour left to complete our journey. And finally you see that our journey has come now, the destination has come now. The same when we realize while we are alive also, every breath is bringing us close to our journey of the Akhirat. Although we are not moving anywhere, but our life is moving fast towards our death. So we're going to understand that no matter we are motion also, but our life is going towards Akhirat all the time, going towards death all the time. So we got to prepare for that time also. There is one person who, in the time was Harun Rashid, his name was Bihlal, was a person who was a little bit type of a Mazoo person. People shouldn't take a lot of recognition of him, but people should joke with him also, and should ridicule him also, and he shouldn't mind all those things. So this person should come to Harun Rashid also, and should talk to him, jokingly things, should joke to him also, and should make himself, revive himself in that manner. His worries, and should go away by meeting him and talking to him. So one day Harun Rashid thought that now, let me test this Bihlal, and to look, I'm giving you the stick, and keep it as amanat by you. The day you find somebody more stupid than you, then give it to him. So he took it. He never felt annoyed, he never felt ashamed or anything. He never felt hurt, he took it away, and he went away. After some years now, he came to find out Harun Rashid is not well. So he went to go and meet him, to visit him. He met him and told, how are you feeling now? What's happening? He said, no, you don't know, now it's the end of my life now. I'm going on another journey I'm going now. He said, which journey are you going to now? He said, the journey of the Akhirat I'm going now. So he said, when are you going to come back from there? He said, Don't be such a fool now. But just go to Akhirat, there's no return. It's one way ticket, that's one way journey. There's no return from there. Then the Lord asked him, what did you prepare for the journey? He said, where this concern is that I haven't prepared anything for the journey. The worry and concern is that now what is going to happen to me there. So now the Lord told him that, O king, I saw how you conduct your affairs is when you go somewhere on the journey for 2-3 days also. First we'll send on good work people to see the road, how the road is, and where you want to stay. They put up a tent for you there. Keep all the necessary things to keep for them. When you go there, you don't have any problem there, you don't have any difficulties there, and after your work is accomplished, you come back to your castle, you come back again. So this I see, that's how you behave in the world. But now when you go into such a journey which there is no return, and you haven't prepared anything for this journey, I haven't seen anybody more foolish than that now. That you know you're going to undertake such a journey and there is no return from the journey. So I haven't seen anybody more foolish than you. In the world, how much journey you undertook, and every journey you prepared for it. But for this journey you not prepare anything. I can't understand this, we said. I never see anybody more foolish than you. So then to Harun Rashid, I've got one amanat of yours which he gave me at one time. So this to give to somebody who is more foolish than me, so just I'm giving this still back to you now. Yeah. So this seems to be a little bit like a joke, whatever it is, but everybody is under this deception. All of us are under deception. We think that we are progressing, whatever, but we are not preparing for our death at all. We all know we're going to die, but still our life is such that we believe that we're not going to die at all. So we will try and understand that, we will try and get the reality in our lives to understand what's our reality of life, and according to that we go to prepare. So this incident, whatever transpired by Harun Rashid, might look to a joke, but in reality everybody is involved in that, and we can see from the morning till the evening how we're involved in crossing our activities, that we forget death at all. We forget that we are going towards the Akhirat, towards our death, and we don't prepare anything for that. And if you look at the lives of the Sahaba and our pious elders, look at them also, they were always conscious and cautious of the life, and they were thinking always of the Akhirat, and they didn't have time now to have long plannings. They planned how much was necessary and carried on with the life they carried on. They now have long plannings, and they have, and nowadays we have such long plannings that our life comes to an end, but the time don't come to an end. That's why there's one little proverb they say in Urdu, says, "Saman 100 baras ka, kal ki khabar nahi." So you acquiring wealth for 100 years, but you know what will happen the next moment. You know what will happen the next moment. No, you don't know after 5 minutes what's going to happen. Your incidents also sometimes. I just met the person now, how he passed away already. So this type of incident we see in our life, but that doesn't give us any, it doesn't alert us to change our lives. Recently we saw that pandemic and carrying on, how many people passed away in our society, in our families, our acquaintances passed away. But after that also now, there is no change in our lives. We haven't come to understand our reality of our lives. We also want to go to undertake the same journey, what is what happened to us. So we took no lesson from them, in other words. So intelligent person will take a lesson from lives of other people also. So here, the first I mentioned was Kullu nafsin za'iqatul maut, that every soul will taste death now. So you can understand that nobody in the world will come and will live forever and ever. Everybody who come in the world will have to taste death, in other words. وَإِنَّمَا تُوَفَّوْنَ أُجُورَكُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. So on the day of Qiyamah, whatever you have done, Allah is going to reward you for that properly. And at the same time, Allah Ta'ala says now, فَمَنْ زُحْزِحَ عَنِ النَّارِ وَادْخَلَ الْجَنَّةَ فَقَدْ فَازَ. So those people who save themselves from the fire of Jahannam and going to Jannat, those are in reality, those are the people who have been successful. So in other words, the day we go into Jannat, then we say now we are successful. Till we don't enter Jannat, we cannot see we are successful. So we could carry on with a good action and deeds of Jannat, so much so that we enter into Jannat, then only we can rest with ease and say that today you are successful now. If a person has beautiful buildings, person has beautiful business, factories, whatever we can have, the people of the world say this person is very successful, yes. But in his heart what is undergoing, what difficulty is undergoing, nobody knows about that. If you ask that person, you've got so many, such a big business you got, so many buildings, properties you got now, but in his heart he knows what difficulty is undergoing. So to have a lot of excess wealth doesn't mean that a person is successful. You ask business people, they'll tell you how much problem they got with the tax they got, how much problem they got, labor problem they got, how much problem they got to pay the clients who got to pay whatever it is. They all are in problem, always in the end, they're not in peace at all. So that you can't call that success. Success means that a person does so much good work and he goes into Jannat, then that is called success, which you're going to understand. That this world is only a place of deception for us. So don't fall into the trap of the world and think that the world is everything. No, the world is there to utilize for us to gain akhirat for us. So to understand that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this type of guidance in the Quran, we ponder over it and say that this world is not just for merrymaking and enjoying ourselves, but we would prepare for the year after in this world. That's why when you go to the Qabristan, you go to the cemetery, you go there, you come and understand and see how type of people are in the Qabristan. The big kings also in the graves also who passed away, big rulers also in the grave who passed away, and find pious people who passed away in the grave also. See the different lives how they are. Somebody asked one pious person that where is the settlement around here? He took him to the grave and said, here's the settlement. See what you mean? The grave of the dead is. See, actually is this the settlement. If you can take a lesson from here, then your life will change. If you can take a lesson from here, then life won't change. Because we are all in the grave and nobody's fighting with one another. Nobody's arguing with one another. Nobody's committing anything now. All are quiet and in the world of the Akhirat now. So if you take a lesson from the grave, if you go to the graveyard and take a lesson from there, that you got to behave in such a manner that you don't harm anybody, you don't hurt anybody, you don't trouble anybody, then you are a better person. You take a lesson from that all people in the world and now where they are gone now. We got to go to the same place in our grave, we got to go also. Let's prepare for our grave from now. So when you have this perception in your mind, then life will change completely. Furthermore, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَا تَدْرِي نَفْسٌ مَاذَا تَكْسِبُ غَدًا وَمَا تَدْرِي نَفْسٌ بِأَيِّ أَرْضٍ تَمُوتُ. That person doesn't know what's going to happen tomorrow at all. He doesn't know what's going to happen in the next moment. He doesn't know. And person makes guna and says, tomorrow I'll make tawbah tomorrow. No problem. Now you tell me this person, what will happen tomorrow? There's no going to live till tomorrow also or not. He makes guna on the pretext that tomorrow I'll make tawbah again. So this is the deception of this world, deception of the shaitan. You got no guarantee you will live till tomorrow. So it's important to understand that tawbah could make immediately you make tawbah. Don't wait for tomorrow to make tawbah. And at the same time, don't think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very merciful, very kind, Allah will forgive us, let's make tawbah, no problem. We make guna and make tawbah after it. That also is not correct also. The example mentioned here is that a person, for example, a person made such an ointment that whenever a person gets hurt anything, he put the ointment, it heals up completely, straight away heals up. It's called a miracle ointment, they call it. Now a person has got his ointment now, you send out the ointment, will he cut his finger off or not? He won't cut his finger off. But someone says, you got an ointment to heal yourself, why don't you cut your finger? Why don't you hurt yourself? You got an ointment with you, he won't do it, because he knows that it is not correct. But here when time comes when we make guna, then we think, we'll make guna after we'll make guna and make tawbah after we'll make. How is that possible? That tawbah is for when a person makes a mistake, by mistake he makes some guna, now he makes tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For that the tawbah is there. Not to make guna purposely and then say Allah must also forgive us. So you can understand this part that a person is going to make tawbah daily, going to make tawbah. That's why ulama said that make a habit of making tawbah in the morning and evening, make habit of tawbah. When a person makes tawbah in the evening, for example, and he passes away in the morning, what happens? He only got to account for the one night only goes around. And the person makes tawbah early in the morning, then whatever you spend at night, that means to account for the night only. And we in the evening, then you only got to give account for the day, what you have done, one day you have done. And according to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's clear in other words. That's why our government encourages us to make tawbah again and again, at least morning and evening we tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whenever your death comes, at least you are not in a problem. Then you make tawbah already to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why our government also mentioned whenever you're walking around also, you've got free time, read istighfar. The more istighfar you read, the more your gunas are getting washed. And when you pass away also, you don't regret after that. Furthermore, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so this types of topics are coming in the Quran again and again in different places. You will find that the time of death, Allah has fixed already. It won't be delayed or come before time. It will come on its time. And Allah will take account whatever you have done. So these type of ayat which we read from the Quran and ponder over them slowly come to realize that death will come on its time. It won't come before, it won't come after also. And after that, Allah will only reward you according to what good you have done, and Allah will punish you only for what you have done, wrong you have done also. Not more than that, not less than that. But Allah Ta'ala is justice to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Furthermore, Allah Ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la tulhikum amwalukum wa awladukum an dhikrillah wa in yaf'alu dhalika fa ulaika humul khasirun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says now, all the people who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the believers, Allah Ta'ala is so kind, is advising the believers and comforting them and making them understand what is your responsibility, how must you think, what must you do now. And Allah Ta'ala said, don't put yourself into destruction because of your wealth and your children. You can understand that two things will distract a person from the reality of life. One is his wealth and one is his children. Acquiring wealth, if you don't follow the law of the Shariat, the earning will become haram and there will be means of destruction for you. And at the same time, the love for the children will demand such things from you which will be wrong after you go against the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So a person should be very vigilant concerning these two things. How is earning this is halal or is tainted with some haram. At the same time, how are the children, how you encourage you to do something wrong or they encourage you to do something good. So these two things you got to ponder over. And if you don't ponder upon these two things, then the person will go towards destruction. He will go. So we could keep in mind that we could make tarbiyat of our children in such a manner they do good things and they encourage you to do good things also. If you falter, they remind you that no, this is not right, you could do the right thing. That they save themselves also and they save you also. At the same time, they look after yourself such a way that you save yourself also and save your children also from destruction. And you go to teach them how to earn a proper living also, halal earning, go to teach them also, that they can remind you that now that you're faltering here, you must correct yourself. And if they're faltering, you can remind them that they're faltering. So in that manner, you will be successful and you won't be in a problem. Now, another ayat where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَانْفِقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقْنَاكُمْ مِنْ قَبْلِ أَنْ يَأْتِيَ أَحَدُكُمُ الْمَوْتُ فَيَقُولُ رَبِّ لَوْلَا أَخَرْتَنِي إِلَىٰ أَجَلٍ قَرِيبٍ فَأَصَّدَّقَ وَأَكُن مِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ. When a person passes away, what will he do now? Now he thinks, no, give me more time now. Now I'm seeing a reality in front of me now. I'm dying, I'm leaving the world now. Now give me some time. Now what I'll do now? I'll go and do the correct in the world now. I'll do good work in the world now. I'll spend money in the right avenues now. Whatever I have accumulated, I spend it according to the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But what Allah Ta'ala will say, the time is over now. It's finished over now. You have been given enough time now to ponder over the reality of life also. Have enough time in the custody of the wealth to spend it in the proper avenues. You never do it. So now the examination is over now. Now the results will come whether you did good or you did bad. And then Allah says, وَلَا يُخَرَ اللَّهُ نَفْسًا إِذَا جَاءَ أَجَلُهَا وَاللَّهُ خَبِيرٌ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ. So the time of death will be fixed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There won't be no extension in time of death also. And death won't come before time also at the same time. So whatever you're going to do in that life which Allah has pre-designed for you. In that life, go do, carry on the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these ayahs are there for us to understand, not to go into deception, and to understand the reality of our lives. And to find that a person who obeys the laws, command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is always happy that he is living in the world. He's going to know that I'm going to meet my Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is so kind, so merciful. He gave me life and chalked out for me a way how to live. I live my life according to that. I'm going to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I think Allah ta'ala will never disappoint me now. There was one villager came to Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said, after we die, where are we going to go? So when we go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, if that's the case, I got no problem then. Allah ta'ala is so kind, so merciful, there's so much of kindness to me in this world, he should be kindness in the hereafter also. So it shows that if we have the times of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at heart and conduct our lives according to that, then you got no problems. So the person who never could do work, then he will worry now that what will happen to me in hereafter. That hope how it should be if I should just do the good work in the world and obey the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, save myself from all this lack of unawareness, and don't fall into this deception, how the people of the world fall into deception. We find the world also, we find people, and we find how they behave in the world. For example, a person is in the severe sickness, for example, and the sickness is such that he's not going to live in the sickness. So what the person does now, in his heart, he starts making promises to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh Allah, please save from the sickness, give me life now. When you give me life now, I'll do everything correct now. I'll have a proper life, I'll obey you, I'll do this, I'll do that. He promised a whole lot of things, promised Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But when Allah gave him health again, whatever now, so his own life again after that. He forgets all the promises and he does whatever he wants to do getting over that again after that. So that is our life, it's our nature that it is. That's why we got to understand that we got to do the right thing. And while we got that understanding, Allah has given us the Iman, Allah has given us the guidance of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, has given the guidance of the Quran. Follow that and do the right thing at the first instance. Don't worry for when you can do promise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we love our life in such a way we try to test Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah ta'ala must do this for us and we will do this to them. But it's the other way around, that Allah is testing us, giving us life, giving us wealth, giving us health, giving us all opportunities Allah is given to us. Allah is testing us, what we want to do now. For us to choose the right thing from what Allah is given to us. Sometime back, I went to Kashmir, and at that time the floods came to Kashmir, severe floods came to Kashmir. So quickly we came away to Srinagar, we came away. And as the water was rising, what was the condition of the people there? They were all on highways, all the way, taking photographs, selfies of the water coming out. It's time to make tawbah, turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and ask Allah for help. They're busy enjoying themselves, taking photos, everything. These two, they realized that this is the azab from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. After that, with us there was one person from Iraq. He came for his business trip, so he said, I'm staying for a few days extra, I want to book the business and go away. I said, look, I'm going away now. In the earlier flight, I'm not going to wait for the flight to be booked for swing. He said, no, I want to go to my business, I'll come after it. So I said, no problem, you stay behind. So we took the early flight and we came away. After we left, and then the airport got closed, all transport got closed, the roads all flooded with water. The house he was staying in, the water came up to the first floor already. What must he do now? The people who were staying, they said, right now go to the next house, got a double story. So we went to the next house, over the roof to climb. The water came right up to top level. Now what does he do now? He saw death in front of him. Now he's making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, please save my life now. I got to go home, I got wife and children also. He made all the pledges to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then afterwards he saw one person coming. He saw the people coming with the boats to save the people. But in there he saw there's a lot of discrimination inside of us. The Shia was coming to save the Shia people, not the Muslims. So he was very hurt, and at this time of need, nobody would help me now. Eventually he saw somebody coming with one little board. So he thought, just come and let me help you. But because a little bit heavy in the weight he was, when he got onto from the he went onto the wall, came by the gate. From the gate he tried to jump onto the board. When he got onto the board just turned down and went down. When he went down, I thought, now I would die now. He got the gate and started coming up a little bit. He came up, his head came up, then somebody assisted him and put him onto it. And he made dua to Allah, please stay here now, big pledge to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I'll give 100 quotes and I'll make, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do all of that, I'll give a beer also, I'll read my namaz, who I've got my relations, my relations, whatever he could make, all the pledges they made to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And how many duas I made, I told Allah how do I that I made. Anyway, he came to the place of rescue, he came. When he came there, he found his hair, his joint, his shoulder was dislocated. Very pain was feeling. So what must he do now? Staying the people, I've got a dislocated shoulder, it's paining quite a bit. See, he was joking just because he wanted to see one treatment, so he's talking like that now. Anyway, he started walking towards where the camp was. So on the way, somebody just pushed him from the back. And what the result saw, the thing just, the joint just went into the socket. And started walking and then. So I don't know who was that person who came from there. It was an angel, Farishta, what is, I don't know, it was nobody behind me after that. Anyway, after that thing got finished, the road opened up, he came back to Meerut. When I went the following year and met him there, he's telling me, Hazrat, what must I tell you? It was just a scene of Qiyamah it was there. How many duas I know, I read all those duas, and how much pledges I made, all the pledges I made, whatever it is. But Allah, when I came back, I made sure I abided to the pledges I made. Who have broken my relations with, I made them ask for forgiveness. I got their feet, asked forgiveness. And I patched up my relation with all those people. And I started reading all my Qaza namaz. I started keeping a beard also after that. And I made sure how much goats, 100 goats I was made sadaqah. From the 50 I made already, you see. 50 I was left, I'll do that also, you see. And after when I met again, I did all that what I promised Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when death comes near, then the person makes a lot of pledges he makes. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's before that time comes, we must try and look after our lives and manage our lives in such a way that when that time comes also you are happy, whatever Allah's decision is, you are happy, you got no problem you got. So the thing is now, why wait for the pledges to live a proper and clean life? When that time comes, you got no worries also. Allah will help out in that time also. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, حتى إذا جاء أحدكم الموت قال رب ارجعوني لعلي أعمل صالحا فيما تركت وكلا إنها كلمة هو قائلها. So we are now, when death comes to them, and then they tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that now send us back into the world and we'll do good actions. Now we'll do good actions in the world. And the wealth we have left behind, we can spend in the proper path, sadqa khairat, what the wealth will mean. And these are the words will come out from the tongue now. But Allah says that we know very well, this person is just saying all the things, but he's not going to practice upon these things. That's why it comes that on the day of Qiyamah, when Allah Ta'ala will start taking accounts of everybody, and at that time you'll find the mushrikeen, they will go towards their leaders, those who, and tell them that you brought us onto the wrong path. Now help us today. Now what must you do? I said, no, I can't help you now. Finish. And I know what you do. I will show the path. I know force you to follow the wrong path. And this argument will carry with them also, with the idols also, whatever it is. Then they tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that give us one opportunity. Now let's see, nothing will happen, nothing will work here now. Nothing will help them. So they tell Allah Ta'ala, give us one opportunity. Now we saw the reality. Now we believe what will happen. Send us a little way in the world now. We'll do all good work, you see, and promise to do good work, and we spend in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whatever, the path of whatever it is. Just give one more chance. But Allah Ta'ala will say, had enough chance in the world already. How much more chance you want now? Understand? So the first thing what they say that the enough chance means what it means that Allah give you the age of 18 years is enough chance now that to understand and to realize what must you do. When the person is matured at the age of 18, his mind is developed already to choose what is right and what is wrong now. And now he does to choose what is right and what is wrong, and you blame himself, don't blame anybody. There's enough time now. And Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says that the life of a ummah is between 60 and 70 years. Imagine when Allah has given you 60 to 70 years life Allah has given to you. That is much more than what Allah has given you to come to realization what must you do. So now you've got no excuse now. Allah has given 70 years already, has given you already. 60 years already Allah has given to you. 50 years Allah has given to you already now. And that you couldn't change yourself and come to your senses. When are you going to come to your senses now? So these are all excuses you can make on the day of Qiyamah, but Allah will give them this answer, Allah will give them. So we got to see ourselves now. What is our age? 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, whatever our age is now. We have passed the age of 18 years already. Now imagine now, now we cannot improve ourselves. We can't understand the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We can't understand the system of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We can't change ourselves now. So what is going to happen? And when are we going to change then? You can't expect that when the death will come, you're going to change yourself now. So it's our responsibility to ponder over ourselves and think now that this life Allah has given to us is a aman for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you could utilize the life according to the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That we could understand very well, and according to that we could chalk out our life, according to that we could chalk out our life. So when the death comes, then you see that reality. At that time you cannot say, now I want to do this, I want to do that now. Before that you got to do everything. You find many of our pious people, elders also will find, before they passed away, they knew exactly we were going away. And they make signs, they told the people, do this, do that. And after they passed away, then people come to realize, they told us this, they told us this, they told us that. Yeah. One has explained that before he passed away, he told a grandson to write on the wall there, this date and this time. So the grandchild wrote the date and time on the wall. No child wrote, you know what's happening. And after they passed away, when they saw on a wall, they saw the same date, the same time written on top. So he knew he was going on that time there already. So he was prepared for that. He lived his life according to that, and he knew what. We see the angels coming down, and he knew what is going to happen. So we got to prepare for our time. Before time, we got to prepare. Then we don't have any regrets in that manner. So when the people said that Allah will send us back into the world, and so now we'll do the proper thing, we'll do again. When the trumpet is being blown now, and whatever now Allah will bring everybody back to life again. At that time now, our relations will not work that time now. In this world, our relatives are here to look after us, to help us, to support us. But on that day now, there is no relation there now. Each one will be responsible for his own actions. Each one will have his own good deeds with him or bad deeds with him. He will talk his way with that now. So it shows how important it is that Allah will give us all of the examples for us now. Why? To come to realization what the reality of life. So one person, he started complaining to Malikul Maut. To Malikul Maut, what type of a system have you got with you? They just come and take a person's life and go away. You don't give a chance also, you don't give a warning also, nothing. Just take a person's life away like that. Look in the world, a person has got to be charged, first he gets charged, then they send him a notice, then after the second notice comes, then the final notice comes, and then they get arrested, whatever it is. You don't give any notice, you just take a person's life away. A little more to reply to him that, what a simple person are you? That, just imagine, how many notices I sent to you, and you don't take any notice of the notices I sent to you. Say that person, I first see that, when you see somebody passing away in your family, your friends, your close people, so the first notice, your time also coming here, if you don't take notice from the notice, I do. When your hair gets white now, just the second notice now. Just, your time is coming to leave the world. When the grandchild is being born, so the other notice, now your time is their time is coming to occupy your space in the world. You don't take notice of those notices which are in front of you, then who do you blame them? So there are so many notices around us, we see look around us now, that our time is coming close. What we see in the world happen, all the confusion taking in the world also, and because we have more conviction that when our time comes, what must we do now? We'll be serious with your life from now already. That how much we talk our life, what must we do? But we haven't got time to get rid of our merrymaking and joking and laughing. We got no time. We got no time to overcome those things and ponder over the reality of life. We got to try and understand that the world is not for merry-making and laughing and joking and violating people's rights. It's not that. But we got to be serious of our life, how to conduct our lives. فَمَنْ تَوَكَّلَ مَوَازِينُهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ وَمَنْ خَفَّتْ مَوَازِينُهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ فِي جَهَنَّمَ خَالِدُونَ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, those people whose good deeds are in excess, they are going to be they are going to be successful. And those people whose good deeds are less, they are going to be in destruction, and they are going to be in a problem. They're going to be at a loss. They're going to be. So we must decide and see how much good deeds are we going to do, and how much bad deeds are we going to do. That we got to decide. It depends on us, not on somebody else. So Allah has given us this life. Allah has given us this choice. Allah has given us this guidance of Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, guidance of the Quran. It's our choice what we are going to do now. So we got to think what we are going to do. تَلْفُهُ وُجُوهُمُ النَّارِ وَهُمْ فِيهَا كَالِحُونَ. I will find on the day of Qiyamah, as Allah mentions here, that those people who are going to be in Jahannam, their faces will be burnt, and we find that their features will be distorted also at the same time. And comes the hadith also that in Jahannam, the people, the one of the punch will be that the upper lip will come up to the head, bottom will come back up to the navel, and the tongue will hang down right onto the ground. And imagine what type of punishment will that be. The people of Jahannam will start walk on the tongue also. Imagine now, what type of punishment will that be. So a person understands these few things of what Allah has explained to us, then the person will come to his senses and say, no, I don't live a life like that. Rather I live a life of obedience and going to Jannat. And even if you get a place in Jannat, in the lowest part of Jannat also, what great achievement is that also. So try and achieve a place in Jannat, and try and go direct to Jannat. And comes some people will go on the day of Qiyamah, Allah Ta'ala will call the fortunate people, Allah will call them first, come forward, and then now go to Jannat now. Then they come to realize that what good work they did, because of it Allah has given that respect on the day of Qiyamah. Imagine a person who heart is attached to the masjid always, share under his throne on the day of Qiyamah. So much leeway Allah has given to us, and give us so much encouragement Allah has given to us. You do this, you get that Jannat you get. The Qiyamah, you won't have any problem. The books of deeds will give in your right hand. You go to Jannah, it will go away. So try and take heed to those the teachings and those warnings Allah has given to us, or the glad tidings Allah has given to us. Take heed to that and try and see we achieve those things in the after. A person does good work all the time. He does good work all the time, and sometimes he slip up. So what happens now? Allah will see that all the time you're doing good work. You will step up now. Allah is so kind now, Allah forgive everything. So Allah has got a lot of connection with his servants, and Allah loves his servants quite a bit. That's why Allah does. Allah bring excuses how to forgive us, how to overlook our faults. Like for example, now lately you said Shabi Barat when came past now. What Allah says, that person who makes tawbah sincere heart, Allah will forgive all his sins, except shirk. Except partners to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The partners to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is such a severe thing. To understand carefully, try and put the mind and apply your mind to see and understand. You come to understand that the shirk is a very severe guna and sin it is. For example, you find a person and Allah Ta'ala tells Nabi Kareem to explain to the kuffar of Makkah Mukarramah what is state. Whatever they don't understand beyond the understanding, they say that no, we can't understand this. So we can't understand what to try and tell us. And then what they say now, looks at like you are that you are a mad person. They say, that you are a sorcerer, you are jadugar, you are to say. Or they use all other terms you said from the Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, because they understand, don't match the understanding of Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So Allah says, leave them, let them do whatever they did. What they say, Nabi Kareem said that the life after death also is a life now. The day of Qiyamah will come also. Then there's Jannah, there's Jahannam also. See, we don't see those things there. How can we accept it? We saw with our eyes when the person passes away, he's going to the grave, and his body gets disconnected into the grave. How can he come back to life again? So when they couldn't understand the concept of the Akhirat, that's why they say Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is a mad person. He's a poet. or he's a sorcerer, whatever it is, to steal things from Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But little they realized that Nabi Islam telling him the reality of things, because Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam went for Mi'raj. There he met Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. He saw Jannat, he saw Jahannam, he saw the reality. With that conviction, Nabi Islam was telling us to go to Jannat, don't go to Jahannam. And they never accept that from Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. To show that the mind was corrupt. Because it was a corrupt mind, they couldn't accept what Nabi Karim was telling them. But on the day of Qiyamah, when they see the reality coming from, now they say, no, now give us a chance to go back into the world. And the time is given to them already. And they never understand. They heat from there. So how will Allah give a chance to go back into the world? They find the kuffar, it says that when they are in the sea, and they are in the hot water in the sea, and there's a whirl, really wind in the sea, and they cannot get saved. At that time they turn towards Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Well, Allah save us now, we'll do this. But no matter the sea becomes calm again, they get saved, they come to the shore, they forget Allah Subhanahu, they forget all the promises. So that's how our lives are. We shouldn't behave like that. We should understand the kindness of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala and try and be faithful to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Take heed to the words of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, and improve our lives, come close to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. The amount of enjoyment we get in obeying the command of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, there is what satisfaction in trusting Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. That's why we find our pious elders spend hours and hours making ibadah of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. She never gets tired. But the person who makes guna, he gets tired making guna after a while. He can't do more guna than what more is going to do than that. And by making guna, there's enjoyment for the little while. There's enjoyment in making guna, but afterwards there's disgrace forever and ever. And to do some good work, for a little while, could restrain yourself, but forever and ever there's happiness after that, joy after that. So we understand the small principles that we taught us. Inshallah, you overcome all the difficulties. So when this non-believers will go towards Jahannam, then we come to understand that what Nabi Sallallahu told us in this world, and that was a reality now. But now there's only regrets. They can't come back into the world again. This world is called Darul Amal, where you do actions, you do deeds, and you plan for your akhirat plan. And the hereafter is Darul Jaza, the return what you did in this world. So understand that whatever you're going to do good work in this world, with that the return you're going to get in the hereafter, then understand this philosophy, then you've got no problem. And then Allah Ta'ala come live with them other the same, that Allah will ask in this world, how much did you live in this world? So those people when they see all the hardships in the hereafter, all the difficulties in the hereafter, the world will reply, live with the yawman or ba'd the yawm. See, we live for a day or just part of a day we live that. Imagine the past ummah, they had long lives, 950 years, 1,000 years life they had. But when they see all the hardship and difficulties on the day of Qiyamah, they say, we'll live for just about a day, I think, in the world, or half a day we live in the world, part of a day we live in the world only. That will associate the lack of the after to this world. So for that little while with this world, why spoil our akhirat? So try to understand, what is little while with the world, why spoil our akhirat? Then Allah will say, first Allah will say, ask the angels who recorded your deeds, ask them. Then Allah said, كُلْ لَبِثْتُمْ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا لَوْ أَنَّكُمْ كُنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. But now you can understand that compared to an akhirat, the world is just a little while. It's got no haste, no value at all. What Allah said, أَفَحْسِبْتَ أَنَّمَا خَلَقْنَا عَبَثًا وَأَنَّكُمْ إِلَيْنَا لَا تُرْجَعُونَ. Allah said, what they are created you useless without any purpose. Okay, and you won't turn back towards me. So understand what a great advice is this for the Mu'minin. Allah is telling us that they are created just useless without any purpose. أَفَحْسِبْتَ أَنَّمَا خَلَقْنَا عَبَثًا. Allah said just for useless. That you won't come back to me again after that. It's not that. To understand over this, Allah is so kind, and so kind that Allah tries to explain to us that I created for some purpose. Understand the purpose of your creation, and then you are going to come back to me, because all are going to die, all are unanimous that you're going to die. So prepare for the death now, and prepare when you're going to come back to me, how you're going to answer me, how you're going to face me now. Prepare for that. When you prepare for that, then you've got no problem. Ya Allah Ta'ala explains, Alam ya'ni ladina amanu an takhsha qulubum li dhikrillah wa ma nazala min al-haq. Ya Allah Ta'ala saying now, hasn't time come now for you now to accept the truth, what came from the sky and change your life. So those people who got love for Allah Ta'ala subhanahu wa ta'ala, those who got the fear of Allah Ta'ala subhanahu wa ta'ala, when they see the haq truth coming to them, they immediately accept the truth, they accept the haq, and they change their life for better change. There's one incident, there's one thief. He was a very daring thief he was. And wherever he goes, he announced before coming to a certain locality area to come and steal there. He was so frightened to vacate their whole house and go away from there, and should let him do whatever he wants to take and go away from there. One day he came there, announced that I come to a certain area. When he came there, he saw everything deserted, but he heard some sound coming somewhere. He went close to the sound, he heard there's one lady who was reading the Quran. And she was reading the Quran, Namaz she was reading. She was reading the same ayat she was reading. When he heard this ayat, he put attention to his ayat and what's happening there now. When he heard this ayat, Allah Ta'ala says, there's a time come now for you to change your life. When the truth has come to you, accept the truth now. When the mother heard this, immediately tears came down his eyes, and he started to make tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Definitely he said, I'm here to change my life now. I'm here to change my life. Definitely I'm accepting your command, whatever you are saying. And immediately he changed his life, and he became a pious person of his time. Fuzail ibn Iyaz rahmatullah say, he became such a pious person, he became a leader of many awliya he became after that. So when the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala come and pay heed to the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, at that time Allah Ta'ala's rahmat is coming down and you become part of the rahmat, then life changes completely. So we could accept the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala whenever it comes towards us, accept the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and see how much Allah will assist you to become a better person after that. So it's upon us to have to be recipient of Allah Ta'ala's rahmat. Then you see the return of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after that. So we find that the thing is now, we got our enemy, the nafs and our shaitan. These two enemies, we got over, we just got to manage these two enemies. When you manage two enemies, then you got no problem. If you don't manage the two enemies, then that's where you end up into a problem. For that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has guided us how to look after ourselves and save ourselves from these two enemies. Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam showed us how to save ourselves from these two enemies, Just follow those guidelines and you got no problem there. But when you don't follow those guidelines and fall in the trap of the shaitan, the traps of your nafs, then do all types of evil you want to do. For example, our Sharia says, respect your parents. What you do now, you won't respect your parents, you rebel against them. Because now you are dealing with your nafs now. For example, drinking liquor, for example, is haram. Start drinking liquor now. Start taking drugs, you start taking. Start doing all wrong things. Why? Because now you're staying to your nafs and your shaitan giving in. And not looking towards what Rahman, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you to do. So try and learn to please Rahman, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and try and displease the shaitan and your nafs, then you are successful. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so kind towards us that He makes such situations for us and brings such events for us where we can understand and come close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like we know just late now, Kabir Barat came now. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, now you make tawbah to me, don't repent towards me, I'll forgive all your sins. Because why? Ramzan is coming around the corner now. Make tawbah now, Allah forgive your sins, and you're preparing now for Ramzan. When Ramzan comes, you again go in action to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whole Ramzan, under the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, under the guidance of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When Ramzan finished, you are perfect Muslim already now. Understand is perfect already now. You won't do wrong things after that. Now you please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the more you please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the more Allah's rahmat comes down to you. In those homes where you see the people doing work, doing actions of rahmat to draw the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those homes are always happy. In those homes they do things of nahusat, Allah's ghazab and Allah's anger come down, there are always problems. So try and understand that we got to do such work in our home, in our daily lives, that draw Allah's mercies at all times, draw Allah's mercies, and Allah will help you with us at all times. Allah will help us with us. So keep this mind that Ramadan is coming now. to better our lives, to improve our lives, to come close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to realize how type of life must live. Everybody wants happiness. Everybody likes happiness also. But what route are we going to adopt to achieve the happiness? And Nabi Karim also said that a mu'min is such a person who is a person who distributes happiness amongst people. Understand? So how we distribute happiness amongst people? When you become obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why you want to distribute happiness amongst people. When you're not disobedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not distributing happiness then. Now you create a bad atmosphere around yourself. So try and say that Ramadan must be such that you are very happy yourself also, and people around you also happy with you. Then there's achieve something in your life. But spend Ramadan in such a manner that you don't look after yourself also, and don't look after the people around you also, then you haven't achieved any benefit from the mercy and kindness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the month of Ramadan. And you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the month of Ramadan, except every day Allah accept one dua of Allah except in Ramadan. Because if you are making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that time has come for you, accept, how fortunate are you now? But you don't make dua at all, you are negligent, and the time passes away, and don't make dua, how unfortunate are you after that? And Nabi Karim said that person keep roza whole day, pure roza he keep, and the iftar with haram he makes. How is the roza will be accepted? Person keeps roza whole day, obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the time of iftar now, he remembers Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he makes dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah accepted dua to Allah accepted also. So it shows how important it is for us to understand our deen and to follow the deen. The deen is very simple. There are very few things you must do in deen. Understand? So you do 5 times namaz, keep your roza, give your zakat, make your hajj faraz on you, and just a few things you must do. Obey your parents, respect your elders, be kind to your younger than you. There are only few things you got to do. You do those few things, you are successful. You go to Jannah straight away. So keep in mind that we got to understand our deen in such a manner that we practice on our deen and we draw the mercies of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Once the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is drawn, then you got to know what is after that. Because Allah is there to help you and support you all the time. Allah was tawfiq for understanding and practicing, and to make us utilize the month of Ramadan in such a way that we gain the closeness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We gain the marifat, the recognition of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this recognition of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will pave our way towards Jannah, inshallah. Alhamdulillah.